Hello, everyone, and welcome to I am super excited to be here, and I hope you guys are looking forward to this session because, of course, we are looking at the vibrant colours of a liquid power from Powertex Art Supplies. So I can't wait to share this with you. They are such a vibrant range of colours, and they are just gorgeous to play with, like all the products in the Powertex range. But if you love colour, then you are going to love these. So just pop in the comments if you're here. It's always nice to see who is here with me, and welcome and thank you very much for watching. So I look forward to also, if you are watching in replay, make sure you drop a comment afterwards. Hey, Nicole from 3 Hearts, and Denise from the Happy Scrappy Bug, and Narissa from Bunbury. We're all dropping in. So Narissa showcases her art in a co-op in Bunbury. So Narissa, you could pop the name of the co-op in the comments, and the link to your page. So being as, I think, is this your first time here, or have you been on Friday Live before? So Narissa is joining me for the new Certified Powertex Trainers course, and so she is in for a treat. We're starting on Monday. So if you would love to become a certified Powertex trainer, then there are still some places left in the course, and we are starting on Monday. So get in and have a chat with me quickly. All right, so we are talking liquid powers today. Now, liquid powers are a water-based medium. They are UV stabilized, and they're semi-transparent, and they are just, like I say, the most vibrant, beautiful colours. So yeah, that's it. The Fuller Co-op. I was trying to remember that, and of course, Narissa Jane in Bridgetown, of course, and Denise is there in Harvey, and Nicole is in Mandurah. So lots of people popping in. So welcome. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the art table. So we'll scoot on down there, and I'll just share the art table with you. Now look at these vibrant colours. Aren't they insane? So they are just stunning. So the liquid powers come in a diverse, wide range of colours. Now, this is, for those of you who know me and know my art, you would know me as sort of more of an earthy girl, and I do love my earth colours. I definitely am earthy, and I relate to earth and trees and really the roots of the earth more than I love the ocean, and I've scuba dived and snorkeled and absolutely love the environment. So of course these are the sorts of colours that you would see under the water, surprisingly, when you put a torch on them. So let us take a look. So we have liquid power. It comes in magenta, so really lovely colour, and so you can see this is the magenta here. But of course, when you actually manipulate it and play around with it, you're going to get all the colours blending into each other. Beth is here from the Art Creatives, so I know, Beth, you would love these liquid powers because they're right up your alley, being so vibrant and colourful. Then, of course, we've got yellow. So you can see in here, I've actually got the yellow. Where it really comes into its own is where you actually create layers with it, and you play with your colour mixing, and just get some really gorgeous different colours. We've got deep violet, which is, again, just so luscious. And when you use that with the magenta, you can see, it's just gorgeous. And a red, So we've got a red in the liquid power as well. And I'll just quickly scoot through these colours. Blue, of course, who doesn't love blue? And then the green in the liquid power is actually really gorgeous. Now, I am out of stock in Australia at the moment of the blue. We will have new stock coming back into Australia sort of mid to end of April. So can't wait to get my shipment, and we will have everything back in stock then. So we are running low on a couple of things, and some of the colours in the liquid powers are those. But there's also then, you've also got black and white. So that just then gives you the opportunity to really play around with your colour mixing, adding tints with the white. But what I have done here on this one is I've actually put down a base of ivory. So I thought I'd show you that today. The thing with the liquid powers is that you do need to add a binder into them. So they always need to be used with some sort of water-based binder, or you can actually play with them onto a wet layer of Powertex, which is what I've done here. Now, I'll just move this, so I'll disrupt my table here. But I think, you know, like, I don't know if you can see, but some of that colour is really luscious, and the layers of colour where it's really nice. Let's move that one out there. And this yellow section in here, you can see that there's just some really nice colourful layers. So yes, it is a bit, this one, I just went crazy with colour on this one, just to really showcase what the liquid powers can do. But you can be a lot more subtle with your use of the liquid power colour. It doesn't have to actually be like this. So just to show you, this is actually the blue liquid power, and it was actually just run off of another painting that I've just created as a layer. And then this is the one I'm going to work on, because you can see it's just a really messy layer, which was actually just, I was just dripping stuff onto it. So I'm actually going to do something on that one. And then this one is, like I say, you can use the colours in a much more subtle way. So that is more muted tones, and yeah, just getting into those more earthy tones. So these are all open experimental pieces, but I just thought I would show you, you know, some of the possibilities, and really encourage you just to play, because I think that is really the main thing, is really just get in there and play and push the medium and see what you can actually do with the liquid powers, and combined with Powertex as well. All right, so I'll get my lovely messy surface here. I don't want to get stuff on here, so I will take this one out of the way without destroying my camera if I can. Okay. Bang, bang. Okay, so here we have just I'm just going to move it this way. And so we've got this very messy layer. So I have some ivory Powertex here that I'm going to just put straight onto this. Now, this could actually be, you know, some of this might be quite nice actually showing through as a layer underneath. So I wouldn't have to cover it all. And of course, where the Powertex is wet, it's going to act like a binder for the liquid powers. Let's just play. And as I say, this layer really doesn't matter. So we can just do it regardless. So you could use transparent Powertex as well as a layer. Just remember that your liquid powers, the temptation is to just keep spraying them, and you can actually get a what was I going to say? You can actually get carried away. Many times I have got carried away with the liquid powers because you just go, oh, just put a little bit more on. But it's actually one of those things which is actually really nice. So I'm just spraying a little bit of water on here just to give a little bit of translucency to some of these layers, so that I see that green colour coming through from underneath. So I'm not totally covering everything. Ooh. Now, I could actually wait to spray the water, or I could spray the water as well anyway, once I've put the liquid powers on. So, of course, what the ivory Powertex is going to do is it's going to create that layer for the colour to bind into, but it's also going to make your colours a little bit more pastel. So it's like mixing, you know, your white into there. Woohoo! Okay, so I love using shopping cards. So I would quite often use a shopping card because you can see there's lots of palette knife marks on here. I can, of course, also get a paintbrush and flick it around. So however I want to do that. But I actually quite like it without brush marks. So that's where I'll use a bigger tool like a big palette knife, or those cake knives are fabulous. Okay, so now let's have a play. So let's put down some green. And some blue. And I can actually, like I say, I can actually add some water onto that as well and get it to move around a bit. So, sorry, I think I went off camera there, but you can see how already that is just really luscious colour. And that's just with one layer. So, of course, I can put some yellow into there. My yellow's decided not to spray. There we go. It's quite nice, the spitty marks. And I'll just do a little bit along this edge here. So you can see how those colours are actually, you know, mixing together. So your yellows mixing together to make your green, and you can really get some really intense colours. So like if I just keep spraying on here, you can see the intensity of that colour that you can actually get. So if you use water with it, it's going to sort of, you can see what it's doing. It's making it more organic and sort of flow a bit further. And you can just play with your different textures and things like that. Nicole's saying she loves using Powertex liquid powers for intense wow in her artwork. So yeah, and when you varnish them, which is highly recommended with the liquid power, because they haven't got a binder, then yes, it is highly recommended that you actually do varnish them. So let's take a bit of purple. Oh, I've got blue. Oops. and some magenta just because we can. This is where you go, oh. And you can run it around and do all sorts of crazy things that you wish. And I'd quite like to bring that down in there a little bit. Now, I could actually let this colour dry off and then I could do another layer as well. And where it starts to be really interesting is when you do experiment with the mixed media and with the liquid powers. Just don't know if you can see this. I'll just see if I can get it into the shot a bit more. There we go. So I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so you can see how that's all running around and away. What you do want to be careful of is you want to be careful of it not going grey. So if you are impatient and you don't let it dry, then your colours will go a little bit muddy. So just be aware of that and just be careful with that. So that is basically just working onto a wet layer of Powertex. So yeah, yes, absolutely. So Nicole's just saying, oh my gosh, it's just such an addictive product. It absolutely is. And because you can get this beautiful intensity of colour, and like with all your Powertex products, you can actually, play around with texture as well. So this is just on a flat colour, and you can already see that just because the Powertex is underneath, that it actually has already got a layer of texture there. So, obviously when you play with the colour, you can play more intentionally than what I've just done. It was pretty quick. This is where I go, oh, I could just take a little bit more in there. And it definitely is one of those things where you can get carried away. So much better for me now to leave this and let that layer dry, see what it does, and then come back and play onto that again. Otherwise, if I take too many colours on there, like I say, what will actually happen is you'll start to get grey patches, which you can see happening here. So it's kind of nice if you like that misty sort of look and you don't necessarily want to go for a bright, intense colour, then this sort of muted greys can actually be really nice. And of course, we would want to have some areas toned down within this because, it's just a bit crazy to look at the minute. But you imagine, that you've already created some textures on here. So you've already got a focal point, and then you actually play with the liquid powers. And yes, Nicole, she's letting the cat out of the bag. You can also crackle it. It does give amazing crackle effects. I thought I would show you that next week. I haven't got my hairdryer here. Otherwise, I could definitely show you on this one. I really like letting it dry naturally as well. What I find is sometimes when you crackle it, and it does give the most beautiful crackle, which I will show you next week. So coming up next week, and you can have a play with that this week and then share that. Just needing something else here. So we'll put this one down just because my table is very reflective, and get this out of the way. And bang it goes. Okay, so that is the liquid powers. Now, of course, you can actually play. Remember I said with the Power Wax that you can use the Power Wax with any water-based medium. So, of course, your liquid powers are a water-based medium. So you don't have to spray them. You can use little nozzles like this to actually, dispense them. So I could just pull out a little bit and then pipette it into cracks, or I could just pipette, a nice little intense layer of colour, and then I could use the water spray. Now, what we have got now in Australia, which is awesome, is Powertex. Now, it has been available in Europe for a long time, but it is now available in Australia. And what it is it is a binder that you put with some cold boiled water. So it's actually 5 grams to 100 mils of water. And you make up a spray. Now, if I sprayed that onto the surface, I could then spray my liquid powers on there, or I could spray the binder into it instead of just water, and it is going to fix the colour as I work. So it depends how you want to work. If you want the colour to be fixed, then you might want to actually spray the Powertex mix onto your pieces you're working with the liquid power. But that Powertex also makes a beautiful art varnish spray for your liquid powers and your bisters, and will actually fix them. So I need to show you that, and maybe I'll do that next week when I show you the crackle as well. So what I did want to show you this week too was actually taking the Power Wax that we have been working with over the last few weeks and using a water-based medium with the wax. Now, we did do that with the Powertex last week. So we actually put in a bit of Powertex. Now, I'm just using the ivory Powertex because that's the one I've got open. Pop a bit of that in, and then I can get a little bit of, let's just take a little bit of magenta. And so what I was saying before was you can actually, get a little bit of colour in those pipettes and add it in. So instead of spraying, you can just add the colour in there. So I usually like to put less in and then put a little bit more if I want. Now, that's a very baby pink. Definitely not a colour I would use. So I could also, excuse my arm going across there, but I know I've got some Vista here because I always have Vista at hand. I could actually put a little bit of the original Vista into that mix and look at that colour. So it's much nicer colour. Baby pink isn't really my sort of colour. So I could put it down as well without mixing it, like you just saw on the palette. So that's another way that you can do it. I want to choose an area here that that doesn't really matter too much because I quite like what's happening on this piece. So I don't want to totally destroy it with colours that I don't want to use really. But hey, it's just a layer. Let's not get too precious with it. Now, of course, once that wax is down, and I'm just going to use up a bit more, use it up here because maybe in here. I can always go over this. I'm not a big fan of that colour. It's much nicer than the baby pink though. Okay. Now, let's say I go, oh yeah, I'm not really a great fan of that colour. Of course, I can let that layer of wax dry and then I can actually put another layer on. What you can see is you can see the translucency that that wax is actually getting. So if I am just playing, the sorts of things that I'll do is just take my wax and have it underneath my vista and spray some water as well to move it. And you can see that that has totally transformed that colour that I wasn't loving. And I love it when I get these drips of vista. And I can just use the directional movement of the board. So look what's happening in here. Isn't that really lovely? So that's how you can actually layer up the colour. So I would let that dry. But let's take a look at some ivory Powertex and wax with a different colour. Just because we can while we're doing it. So you can play to your heart's content. So that is the beauty of actually working with mixed media, is it's all about playing with layers. And you'll find things that work for you and you'll go, oh my gosh, I love that effect. So I'm really liking in here. So I'll try and keep that. I'm not liking this area as much. So we'll play in here. And let's take a little bit of green. If I want to, I can actually take some blue into the mix. So, of course, I don't have to just have just the one colour. I can take some blue into there, change that colour. I can go, you know what? It's now a bit baby blue. Let's take a bit of yellow. And so you can see how that colour has changed just as I've mixed it. So we've got the wax in this layer, which is going to give us even more translucency. So that's where the wax is actually really nice. So it's very wet in here. It'll be a lot nicer if it was dried out. So I might actually just get this one here. And we can pop some of this wax layer on here. Now, remember what I said about the wax. It's better to let your layer dry off and then, so I've got quite a lot of this colour. So I can pop it down and I can leave it down like that with the palette knife, which is going to make it more opaque. Or I can do what I did before and you can see I've just, you know, got that really, you can get a really beautiful misty look in your work by playing with the translucency of the wax in layers. And of course, being able to add any water-based medium into it, like I've just shown you that you can add the liquid powder into it. You know, it just makes it so versatile in terms of how you can use and play with it. I love using my fingers with the wax. It just is the best tool. I've tried different ways of applying it, and my favorite way is just always with my fingers like this. So sometimes I'll do it quite gently, other times I'll do it you know, a lot more vigorously, but you get some really gorgeous layers of colour coming through. That is actually reflecting. Hey, Fraser, lovely to see you. How are those gorgeous dogs doing? My goodness. They seem to have interrupted your art routine. So Kay's just saying, very abstract. We've got some comments, beautiful. It's not really that beautiful, but, you know, it's a layer, and that's what you've got to allow yourself to do, is to actually create layers where, you know, they're, they don't look great when you start, but it's through actually layering up the colour and layering up the surfaces and the textures that you get some amazing results. So you can see, like, I would actually do wax into some of these sections here, at risk of losing some of those nice drips, because whilst I like them, they, you know, they're not necessarily something that I would keep. Now, you can also, if you haven't sealed it, which I think I sealed this surface, you can see it's not coming off with water. Oh, somehow I've popped over. I wonder how long the... You need to let me know how long it hasn't been on the art table. My goodness. Okay, so somehow it popped over to me on the screen there, which would be very boring. So what I was just showing you was, you can see that I can rub it out a little bit with my damp cloth, but I have actually sealed this surface. So really, really good to seal the surface and just play, just have some fun. So today I hope that, what else have I got? Hang on. Okay, so let's just make sure I've covered everything for you. So it is recommended that you varnish your liquid powder to seal. And like I say, it is UV stabilized, and always use the liquid powder with the water-based binder so that it fixes it. Okie dokie, so that's us for another week of Friday Live. I hope that you've enjoyed the introduction to liquid powers. They are a really lovely medium to play around with. It just takes a little bit of experimentation and play to find what you like. So Beth, I know you've been using it on your gorgeous quirky beds, and it is really lovely using it on easy 3D flex textures. And you are going to love the 3D flex once you start playing with that. So next week I'm going on, and we will be doing having a look at the Easy 3D Flex, so which is just an amazing medium. Now, if there is anything that you would like me to talk about on Friday Live, please let me know. So Fraser's just said, yes, the dogs are doing great, and she's in Canada on holiday at the moment. Lucky you, sounds fabulous. And yes, looking forward to Monday. Absolutely, Denise. Can't wait to get started with you guys with the new Certified Powertex Trainers online course starting on Monday. So if any of you would like to join us for the fun, it is actually an internationally certified course that I am running online, and you have 6 months of group mentoring with me through the duration of the course. So it is a great opportunity if you either want to up-level your art, or if you would like to have an arty business and run Powertex workshops, you can get your certification online with me. So yeah, join us if you would like to. You can jump on and have a chat with me and book a call. If you would like to do that, then I don't think I've got it here. If you would like to do that, then just send me a message, just personal message me and say, hey, Ash, I'd love to learn more about the course, and I'll get in touch with you and we can have a chat on the phone, or we can have a chat on Zoom if you're overseas. So we just have to organise a time that suits us both, and we can go from there. And Narissa, I've got a lot out of that today. So there's the link. If you would like to book a call with me, you can actually go into my calendar and you can find a time there, and we can have a chat about your art business and your vision for your art business. And then, like I say, next week on Friday Live, I'm going to be demonstrating liquid power with Crackle. And remember to post all your bits that you do over the weekend in the Creative Hub. Okay, everyone, have a terrific creative weekend. I've loved sharing with you again on Friday Live, and I look forward to seeing you here again next week, same time, same place, and we will get creative and have some arty fun again next week. And that you have a wonderful creative time on the weekend. Ciao.